Oh, welcome back to... And today we're traveling with Bert, of course, and we're about 2/3 of the way to our destination of Takua Pa in Phang-Nga Province. And I thought this was quite a nice place, despite the traffic, quite a nice place to do the introduction. It goes by the bizarre name of Hollywood Picnic Point. Anyway, despite the name, it's a very attractive location. Let me quickly give you a 360 view around and then you'll see where I am. So before I talk too much about our destination for today, let me quickly tell you about the weather, which I've been calling the monsoon season. And that continues. We've had some pretty foul weather over the last couple of weeks. And today is a slightly nice day. I hope it doesn't rain, but it's fairly pleasant today. But we've had a lot of flooding from home all the way down south into, all the way south into Malaysia. And here's a quick video I took at my beach the other day. And you can probably guess what happened next. Yep, that wave was bigger than I expected. Anyways, it's been a great drive so far. The scenery is quite spectacular and has been for about the last hour or so. And all the limestone casts are very attractive to look at. In fact, we're just on the edge of Khao Sok National Park. It's quite a remote location. Over that side, there's the large lake and Ratchaprapa Dam. And it's a touristy area, but as I say, very remote. It's not unusual to find elephants roaming around here. I think we're safe. So anyways, as I say, today we're going to a place called Takua Pa. And in fact, there's two Takua Pas. There's the new Takua Pa, which frankly is not a place you'd want to go to. You just drive through and forget about it. But about 6 kilometers south of there, there's the Old Town, which is old and has a lot of interesting buildings and things to see. So that's where we're going to go today. And how old is it, you're wondering? Well, there are records that go back to about 40 BCE, so it is very old. But none of that remains today. But there are some financial records that show that trading took place in the region about 500 years ago. So that gives you some idea of how long the town has been there. Now, the Old Town is a typical Peranakan town, which means it's inhabited by people who are descended from the original Chinese settlers who arrived from the 15th to the 17th century and intermarried with the local people. So it's quite a mixed race town. And one thing that you should know is that its nickname is 8 rain and 4 sun, and that's talking about months. So I'm just hoping that today is a number 4 month and we don't get any rain. So at this point I really only have one decision to make. It's a long, thin town, so should I start from the north and go down to the south, or should I start from the south and work my way up to the north? Well, we better flip a coin, I guess. Okay, north it is. Let's go. So as promised, we're at the northern end of Takua Pa Old Town, and this is the Boon Song Iron Bridge. So there's absolutely no prizes for guessing what it's made of. And you might guess that Boon Song was the company that made the iron. It dates back to 1965 and was built to allow the tin mine workers and the iron factory workers to get to their place of employment, which is on the other side. It's not an attractive place, it's a bit of a quirky place, as one website describes it. But we'll just go down and take a look. And you can probably see from here that it's actually made from scrap pieces of metal, just welded together, all kinds of odd shapes and sizes, which is what makes it quirky, I guess. So we're just going to take a walk down here a little ways. I'm not going to go to the other end, because there really isn't anything interesting down there. We'll just walk out far enough to look at the view. I'm not sure what this strange design is on the grass. Must mean something. But someone is wishing us a Happy New Year for 2024. Yeah, so we'll just take a look around the other side. You have to be really careful here because the motorbikes keep zipping past. So there's the other odd design from the other side. There's a nice view in the distance, lots of hills. And Takua Pa Old Town is further down the way we're looking now. So we're just going to head down that road over there and see what we can find. So we'll head back to Bart. So we're pretty much into the town now. This is the Tao Ming School, which was founded, I think, in 1922. And as I mentioned before, many of the inhabitants here are descended from Chinese, so there's a very big Chinese influence in the town. And this school was established to educate the children. It was paid for by some of the wealthy Chinese merchants. But during World War II, the Thai government became suspicious of the Chinese and possible communist influence, so it was closed. And unfortunately, it's never reopened. Now, it looks as though it's possible to go inside. I've never done that before. Whenever I've been here before, it's been locked. We'll just take a quick look around here and walk our way up to the front door. Oh, I can hear voices coming from the back, so let's take a look. Shoes off first. Well, I have no idea where the voices are coming from or why they're coming. But it does look like it was a school. And it still could be. And maybe we're allowed to go upstairs. Let's give that a try. No, we're not allowed to go upstairs. Okay, well, we've seen it now. We'll take a quick look outside and then we'll move on. Well, it's an attractive building. It's a shame it's not being used for something. Okay, what's next? And by accident, we've arrived at something called the Kun Intra building, sometimes known as Kun In House. And it's actually just a stone's throw from the governor's residence, which I've somehow managed to miss. So we'll have to backtrack a little bit and see if we can find that. It was for one of the officials of the Takua Pa government many years ago, apparently built in 1917 in the Sino-Portuguese style. And I'll just move around here. It's actually a private residence now, and I wasn't expecting it to be open. But I think it's only open because the gardeners are here. And supposedly the roof was built to look like a turtle's back, but I think you need a little bit of imagination to be able to see that. I'm just going to wander up here a little ways because this is part of the old town wall that dates back hundreds of years. Looks like it's breaking up a bit now. Okay, nice looking building. Let's see if we can find the governor's residence. Okay, so we found the governor's residence, except that we haven't because it doesn't exist anymore. But we have found the walls that surround what was the governor's residence. And it looks like a pretty big piece of land. And here there's two very helpful signboards. Well, three signboards. One says it's the governor's residence. And that one, I have no idea what it says. And that one, I have no idea what that says. They're totally illegible. So let's have a wander around and see what we can find out. Okay, there's another signboard here which is slightly helpful. It says the wall was built to enclose the governor's house as a citadel to protect the disturbance of the Chinese secret society of Hongxi during the early 20th century. The construction technique is very interesting because of the use of Hokkien concrete, which only appears in a few places in Thailand. But it doesn't say what Hokkien concrete is. Whatever it is, they're huge blocks. Anyway, let's keep walking. Assume from the existence of the little wall here, it was divided into separate buildings. He certainly had a nice garden. This sign is slightly more helpful. Features a rectangular plan here divided into 3 zones: the front palace, the hall and the rear palace, connected all together with gates. The walls composed of clay and sand mixed with mortar. These mixed materials were pressed into the mold, forming large square cubes. Okay, we saw that. And they were stacked on top of one another and partially formed with slabs of bricks without applying the adhesive of mortar. And there's no trace of any of the buildings, so presumably the buildings were made of wood and were not so big. And we'll go back and find Bert and see what else we can see. And quite unexpectedly, I find myself at Wat Kong Ha Pimuk, which was not on the list for today, but as I was driving past I could see the sun was shining, so I thought, well, why not? Yeah, something very strange here. Let me go a little bit closer. This beautiful chedi that you can see in the background, well, I came here, I don't know, several years ago, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and it looked pretty much the way it does now, bright gold color. But if you look at this photograph, I was looking on Google Maps recently and discovered that somebody turned it bright red. And I have to say, it doesn't really look that great in bright red. Bert was impressed, but I wasn't. I know it's golden again. I have to assume that the red color was the undercoat before they put on this gold, because that gold is obviously new. Anyway, it's pretty extensive, so let's have a wander around. Just wander past the monks' homes and out the back, see what we can find. Now, I don't know where this goes, but I have to take off my shoes, so hopefully it's something interesting. I'd like to go inside. I don't know if it's possible. Let's see. Yes, I think it is possible. That's good news. Never managed to go inside before. Wow, that's pretty spectacular. I like the ceiling. Can't think what it's made of. Lots of tiny tiles, I think. Let me get a little bit closer. Yes, I think it's a lot of reflective mirror tiles, even on the side of the staircase here. It certainly is effective. And since there are stairs, maybe we should go up the stairs. Whoa. Now we have a serious ceiling. Goes up several levels. decidedly sparkling. And from up here we get a nice view of the river. Well, I certainly feel like I saved the best for last, although this wasn't supposed to be the last. I still have quite a number of places on a long list, so I think probably we'll have to make a second visit here. But we won't do any more today because I can see your eyes glazing over and you go, oh no, not more places than Takua Pa. So for now, with the nice gold shady behind me, I'll say it's goodbye from Bert and it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.